The DREAM Act is bipartisan legislation that would give a select group of immigrant students the chance to earn legal status if they complete 2 years of military service or college in good standing. These students, who would be affected by the DREAM Act, were brought to the United States as children. It was not their decision to come to this country, but they grew up here. The United States is the only home most of them have ever known in their lives. We should not punish children for any wrongdoing by their parents. Senator McConnell, the Republican minority leader, claims that the DREAM Act is, in his words, extraneous to defense authorization. He couldn't be more mistaken. The Defense Department has a decidedly different view. The Defense Department's strategic plan for fiscal years 2010 to 2012 specifically includes the DREAM Act. It says the DREAM Act would help shape and maintain a mission-ready, all-volunteer force. This morning I was on the telephone with Secretary of Defense Gates, who has been supportive of the DREAM Act. He said going back to the days when he was president at Texas A&M and saw the injustices that were created by discrimination against those children who were undocumented and were trying to grow up and be a part of America. He and I spoke about the fact that the DREAM Act would expand the diversity of our armed forces and bring some of the most talented young people in America into the ranks of those who are willing to serve for our country. The Defense Department supports the DREAM Act for one simple reason. If it becomes law, thousands of highly qualified, well-educated young people like Cesar Vargas could enlist in the armed forces. General Colin Powell understands this. On Sunday on Meet the Press, he said, "Immigration is what keeps this country's lifeblood moving forward." Senator Levin, the chairman of this committee that brings the bill to the floor, has pointed out the reality that amendments have been offered in the past that don't relate directly to the Defense Authorization bill, including, for example, one that he just noted on the floor, an amendment offered by Senator John McCain of Arizona, our friend, who has taken exception to these amendments. But Senator McCain offered an amendment to the Defense Authorization bill related to campaign finance disclosure by 527 organizations. Hardly a defense-related matter, but one that he offered to the Defense Authorization bill at a previous time. Nonetheless, the Defense Authorization bill has passed every year for the last 48 years. So this DREAM Act amendment is not unprecedented, and what would be unprecedented is if the Republicans blocked the Senate from passing the Defense Authorization bill for the first time since 1952. The DREAM Act has always had broad bipartisan support. The last time the Senate considered it, it received 52 votes, including 11 Republicans. But as the students should know here in the Senate, a majority does not rule, but on controversial issues, we require 60 votes. The DREAM Act also has broad support across America. According to a recent poll, 70% of likely voters favor the DREAM Act, including 60% of Republicans. The DREAM Act is not a free pass to citizenship. It is not amnesty. It is designed to assist only a select group of young people who would be required to earn their way to legal status. A student would have the chance to qualify for the DREAM Act only if that student meets the following requirements: came to the United States as a child, has lived here for more than 5 years, has good moral character, has not engaged in criminal activity, passes a thorough background check, and graduates from American high school. If a student fulfills every single one of these requirements, that student would receive only temporary legal status. Then the student would be required to complete 2 years of college or military service in good standing. The DREAM Act also has important restrictions. For example, DREAM Act students would not be eligible for federal grants like Pell Grants, which assist many students now in pursuing their education, and they would be subject to tough criminal penalties for fraud. These requirements are fair, but they're also tough. In fact, according to a recent study by Migration Policy Institute, only about 38% of those potentially eligible for the DREAM Act could obtain this legal status. It's been almost 10 years since I introduced the DREAM Act. I've met students all across America. Some of them have completed their education. Some are in the middle of going to school under very difficult circumstances. and some are still trying to figure out what they're going to do with themselves. These are literally young people without a country. They are in the only country they've ever known. They are in a country where they want to give back. They want to contribute. We have helped them. We've helped them obtain their education, K through 12. We have given them encouragement, but we've never given them a chance. When I talk about the DREAM Act, I still remember one student who said to me, "Senator, I dream in English, and I dream about America." That's what this is all about. The DREAM Act is a matter of simple justice in this country. Why would we punish children for the wrongdoing of their parents? Why wouldn't we give them a chance to make America a better place? I'm going to introduce you to a young man who I think is Exhibit A for those who question whether or not the DREAM Act belongs on the Defense Authorization Bill, and for any who question whether or not the DREAM Act is in the best interest of the future of the United States of America. Cesar Vargas was brought to the United States at the age of 5 by his parents from Mexico, at the age of 5. He grew up in the New York area in Brooklyn, where he attended high school, graduated from college without any federal assistance because, being undocumented, he didn't qualify for federal assistance. He enrolled in the City University of New York Law School, where he's now in his 3rd year. He tried to enlist in the military coming out of high school, and they turned him down because he was undocumented. But he still wants to be part of our military and hopes that when he graduates from law school that he can use his education and his talents to serve our nation as part of the Judge Advocate General course. In addition to his academic achievements, he is now, he said, proficient in 4 languages. That would be French and Spanish and English and Russian, and he's learning Cantonese. Now, when you take a look at these talents, you have to ask yourself, why in the world wouldn't the United States of America want this man's talent as part of our nation and part of our nation's security? That's what the vote on the DREAM Act is all about. Cesar Vargas, come up and tell us your story.
I'd like to thank Senator Durbin, Senator Lieberman for allowing me to share my story. My story begins when I came to the U.S. when I was 5. Like many dreamers like myself, I have never thought to myself that I had just left my homeland. I always considered myself a Brooklyn born and raised American. But my story really begins when I was in high school. In high school, I hoped to see myself graduate from West Point or from the Naval Academy. That did not happen. In college, my friend actually became a Marine officer through the ROT program. He encouraged me to join with him, but all I could say was that I was going to join after college. That did not happen. After 9/11, like many Americans, like myself, that I consider myself one, the duty to serve became more personal. Fruitlessly, I contacted various recruiting offices, only to hear the same painful words. We do not accept individuals without legal status. In fact, I still kept a pamphlet from 2007 from the Marine Officer Program to remind myself that one day I will be a Marine officer. But a decade later, I'm still trying to serve my country. And once again, I'm knocking on the door of the military. And I feel I am close today. But now I'm a high school graduate, a college graduate, and now a 3rd-year law student at the City University School of Law. I have a 3.8 GPA. I speak the language that Senator Durbin said. I'm active in and out of law school in my community. I'm the captain of my soccer team. And yet, that means nothing. That means 0. Without the DREAM Act, I'm relegated to a mere shadow. And I have no doubt that after law school, I know I can make the big bucks. I know after law school, I am more than confident that I can beat out the competition and get a nice, cozy corporate job. But that's not me. In fact, I actually been referred to guaranteed employment positions abroad. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to go to Canada. So at this point, I have chosen to devote my career, my life, to serve this country. So whether it's a military lawyer in the JAG Advocate Corps, or as an infantry officer or an intelligence officer leading other Marines, I want the opportunity to earn, and I emphasize this, the opportunity to earn my place next to the great heroes that have fought and continue to fight to defend our country and to defend the principles that are embedded in our Constitution. In fact, I also believe that Dreamers make not only great enlisted soldiers, but we also will make exceptional talents. The military recognizes this, so do we, and we are ready here to serve. Yes, my birth certificate says Mexico, fine, but my DNA, my soul, embody the principles of the citizen soldier, the American citizen soldier: courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. So I'm asking Congress to give us the opportunity to serve the only country we know, the only country we call home, and this is the U.S. While I live, Congress, give me a country. Let me have a free country. And all that I am, all that I have hoped to be, I'm putting at this moment. Now, I also would like to present a petition signed by 65,000 individuals who support the DREAM Act. And the petition also symbolizes 65,000 each year of highly qualified, exceptional individuals that could say are better than me in terms of academics, in terms of skills, in terms of anything that I can hope to be. But they can't. They can't even serve the military. They can't even serve the country. They only know they are truly Americans. And I hope to see them serve next to them and join the ranks of the greatest military in the world.